so amazing to see how much experience changes when we're just sitting quietly.
Yeah.
Moments of discomfort and resistance and then getting quiet. I mean, it does its own thing, yeah?
Yeah, without doing. The last days, there was such a poor, dark cloud, something like this, and it felt like I know this feeling my whole life. It was always underneath, and it was like really going like very heavy stuff, something like without knowing what it really.
What it is, yeah.
Yes, yes, but I felt no connection, just this, and I thank you so much that it can come also in this way, and thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's so common for us to, you could say, for identification to happen with body, with thought, with feeling, with experience. And if we look, we can see they're just all passing shows, they're not us. But so quickly that there's some
Personal
movement, that shows up as identification.
Yeah. I yeah. Yeah. It feels it really gets so much lighter with this, even when something such strong thing comes, it's just there, not knowing. And it felt like not taken personal, but it comes in, of course. Then one feels like, oh, I cannot laugh, or what is happening with, that everything is lost, what we ever experienced, or something like this. And then you want to get it back, what was beautiful, and so always the same journey. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Isaac.
I'm Maria.
Here is or was the same dark cloud. Not my personal thing, but dark. comes love in this. Thank you.
Thank you. Sandra.
Hi, Isaac. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Sandra.
Isaac, I would like to explore something. It's about this relating with my mom. So she was always, my parents overall, they were always there for me physically as a child. But I never learned to really connect on this love flow. And this week I went together with my mom for her examination in the hospital. And it was so strange, so weird. You know, this system, it was always like wanting to connect, but not being able to connect. It's like, and it's so difficult here to really embrace her, to hug her, to
So let's start with a very simple exploration. Yeah. What is it that you call your mother? What is your mother?
Of course, she gave birth, but of course she gave birth to this body. But this is
yes,
really.
but what is, you know, like in this moment, you say mother, and there's memories, there's maybe feelings, maybe thoughts. Are any of those her? The thoughts of mother, the feelings of mother, the memories of mother, or any of those actually your mom? And we're really inquiring like for the first time. It's not, there's no right answer, we're just looking.
Of course, there are thoughts coming up which say it doesn't feel normal, or it should be normal that I have this wish to hug her, to embrace her, to connect with her. And this is
but so that's the first thing, is just to see what is her. So we'll come to that side in a moment, but we're just starting with this. So there's a body activity going on, changing all the time. Is that who she is? Are your thoughts about her? Are your feelings about her? Are your memories that you have with her? We're just discerning at the moment. Okay? The patterns that play there, are those her? none of them, right? Okay,
Oh.
cool. So now we come back, then what's you? So you speak about noticing this yearning or wish to connect or have a feeling of being connected. Is that you? No. Okay. And the thoughts that come up around that, like can't connect, don't know why it keeps coming up. All of that, is that you?
No.
No. Okay, cool. Yeah. Because, if there's any, I could say, habit of referencing me, my mom, that would create a sense of separation, a sense of me, a sense of her. But in actuality, they're just dreams. So there is awareness there, in which all thoughts and feelings, everything is rising, coming up. And whatever filters were playing in that expression of life that's for mom, including her capacity to really, let's say, be one with you, be beyond two. To the extent that she never had that, she would have felt, or I could say that expression of life would have felt separate. And what was producing that was just habits, I could say. Habits of attention, habits of objectifying everything. It's so familiar for most of us that we look through a habit of attention that produces subject-object, me and someone else, and then it feels like there's a me. And it's really so rare that we ever stop and go, okay, what is this me? What's aware of any ideas, any feelings, any memories, any thoughts, any habits? In a way, that's why it's tricky for most of us, because the habits of it move so quickly into those habits of projection, projecting other, projecting a me. Believing that our perception is real. And so there can be this recognition. It's a that our nature is awareness. And then these habits, these habits of attention, habits of thinking, that kind of hide that essence of who we are. So at this moment, you know, to me, it feels like it's quite quiet in here right now. Not much thinking. Am I correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like thankfulness for this impulse, really, to
Yeah.
we are just awareness, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Somehow, in the last days, I've been inspired to read Brahmana again, just seeing the value of ongoing inquiry, because the momentum of those habits are strong. It's so sweet. I mean, how beautiful. 3 times a week we meet and we just really drop into resting, as always said. And then all is well. So clear.
Oh, yes.
And so it's like beautiful.
Thank you so much, Isaac.
Zoe. Ah,
Hello, Isaac.
you say Zoe or Zoe?
Yeah, Zoe.
Zoe. Cool.
Yeah,
beautiful plants behind you.
thank you. The conversation just now with Sandra really touched me a lot, and I have experienced much of what Sandra spoke about over the last 15 years since my father died. I'm an only child, and I was taking care of my mother's care from a distance, and looking after her carers, because she had a whole team of carers because she wanted to stay at home. And this was actually, looking back, a kind of full-time job. I didn't really realize it as that at the time, because it grew very gradually. But still, that's what it was, in a way. And my mother passed away a few weeks ago at the age of 104.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually, sitting here now looking back, I see that my mother was actually nothing other than the momentum of the inquiry. It was, I can see it on one level as our relationship and me and her, but actually now I realize it was only one energy of inquiry for the last 25 years. It's been that which has pushed me deeper and deeper and deeper. And yeah, I can see that there was a person, and there is a person, a body, but the whole energy was this awareness, bringing itself to awareness. That was the purpose of it all.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to share that.
Beautiful.
And the intensity of the person who, the intensity of the resistance, the intensity of the duality, all of that, which gets very intense when you actually have power of what I had power of attorney for my mother. And so that role gets very intensified on the surface. I had a legal responsibility, and so that sense of responsibility gets very intensified. But still, even that intensification it was a pushing or a deepening into a truer seeing. And paradoxically now, there's much more appreciation of her as a person than I ever had while she was still in the body. There's an enjoyment of, and a kind of a lightness now, which was very difficult to access while she was still in the body. But it's somehow now appreciated, and it's.
But let's just slow that down for a second. Yes. I mean, I understand that way of speaking. She, was in the body. So what was it that was in the body?
an energy that's had to express and release attachment to the body.
Just stay with that inquiry just a moment, Clara. But you spoke of it as an energy that had to we just playing, exploring, just fine tuning.
Like a birth, the energy and the power of a birth. It wasn't, I had the feeling sometimes that as she gave this body birth, so there was another birth happening. It was strange because in the hospital, she was just for the last week, she was taken into hospital. And so I had to go over there to England to the hospital, and she had died. But I was with my partner and we were sitting in the reception area where waiting for the mortician to come and collect us to go to view her body in the mortuary. And while we were sitting there in the reception area, an ambulance crew came in with one of the men of the ambulance crew was holding this tiny baby, and the mother, who had obviously just given birth in the ambulance, he was holding this baby, and the mother was walking in behind, completely overwhelmed by the whole experience. And there were we sitting waiting to go and view my mother's body. And it suddenly struck me that this whole I thought, this is happening millions and millions of times around the world right now, right at this moment. One in, one out, one in, one out, one in, one out. It was so poof. So amazing, so overwhelming, actually, to be so, to feel it.
And then
What's
to
happened?
recognize all of it is appearing in who you are.
Yeah. To the observer, to the witness, to whatever it is that witnesses all this. And at the same time, there are all the personal aspects that are there as well, held in the greater seeing.
Yeah. So at this moment, just playing, there's a bodying activity going on. Heart is pumping, lungs are breathing, eyes are seeing, blood is, pumping around the body. And it's keeping a certain temperature and a balance, and it's just doing what it does, yeah?
Yeah.
So I call that a bodying activity, yeah? Frequency, vibration, whatever you want to call it, it's information. Neural connections, millions of them. Digestion happening, all this. And then there's thoughts happening, maybe. sensations. So the question is, what's you, first of all, and is that in the body, or is the body in that?
The body is just here in that seeing, in that awareness.
Yeah. It's not a noun, because clearly it's changing every instant. So it's a verb. Bodying was more accurate here.
Yeah.
But like we've had this perspective of being in the body, or something like that. If we slow it down, we can see actually everything is appearing in who we are, the whole world.
Yeah.
It's not separate to that awareness. Yeah. But there's habits playing that make it seem like it's separate. But if we really look, we can see it's not, actually. It's just this moment, which is all we have. Sensations or information. And, our senses pick up a small little spectrum of all of the information, which is usually interpreted through our conditioning and our habits of attention and all that, and then we end up with a sense of a me, and then there's it, attached to that sense of me are memories, but yet every night that all disappears when we go to deep sleep. No mother, no past, no future, no world.
Can you say something about how activities arise as we become more the embodiment of this embodying? I can sense that old activities which used to have some identity attached to them have dropped away.
Yeah.
And there's something that is now questioning, okay, obviously there's no problem with things like doing the shopping and the cleaning and cooking. That just happens. But there's been something in the body that's in the habit of creating, let's say, through writing, through photography, creative activities, and now they dropped away. Earlier this year they dropped away, and still there's something that sometimes comes up and wants to do it again. And I'm wondering if you can say something about that.
And so it's like there's some expressions that love to paint, there's some expressions that love to garden, there's some expressions that love to write or photograph or it's just these different or play music, whatever it is, you know, it's just and some of them we might have some resonance with and others not at all. It's like you wouldn't even dream of. It's just so and it seems like, you know, there's this interest in dying before we die, or what do you call it, recognizing uninterruptedly beauty, love, peace. Which is rare. You know, it's not just let's say a passing phase. It's like it seems in a way trying to speak it. If I speak about how it feels in this journey, it's like life gets easier and sweeter as, let's say, old habits fall away. And it's just lately been recognizing it's actually that interest to really keep bringing attention to awareness itself. There's a pull. It's just a pull. And yet at the same time, I have it to so easily get into old habits of attention. Even though, you know, like there's enough awareness to not move into suffering much. But yet, you know, like some ways, I think for many of us, if the life gets bearable, that feels fantastic. But the depth of this pool is actually deeper than that. And I'm actually speaking to myself here, you know.
Yeah, there is a recognition that the sweetness really only comes with the peace.
Mhm.
And the other activities, they bring sometimes a certain satisfaction, but really there's a knowing that the freshness which comes from that peace is the only thing I could really ever want.
Exactly. You know, even if you do manage to lift 104, let's not waste any time.
I hope not. I hope not.
And then gear afterwards. So feet right now, and then gear after.
Good evening, Isaac. Hi, everyone. This is a beautiful session. One more time, so often, so often. And you spoke about the pull and into resting, into noticing. In whom does it appear? To whom does it come?
Mm.
Yeah. And what seems to be noticed here is it cannot be decided by mental
Mm.
roots, so to say, or mental illusion, so to say, to abide as this exploration quality. So, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Isaac. Yeah, I'm just kind of really triggered right now, but only because of positive excitement somehow. Sure. Like heart beating, everything. What Zoe was saying about the creativity, writing, music. Oof. It's really triggered that like sadness and everything at the same time coming up, because what is happening in this field, I've always been so creative. I thought this happens. It's just this happens permanently. Music, writing, photography, everything. And it's very initiative, and then it's just kind of overwhelming because it's like wanting to it's so amazing that it's like an experiencing that's such a richness, and it's overloading all the time. It's kind of an permanent overload, that like there's like millions of things I've written and so much music that I still want to play on the piano, or and what just came up was that something released right now, because it's so clear that I also had this feeling that it was dropping away so strongly because I don't have the time for it. And then it turned into something that's always like a little stress at the background, because it seems like there's something that I would rather do that than the other activities that, like cooking and working and things like that. So what's like really strong for me is to see that to not make an agenda out of it. That's one thing, and also that it's actually a gift that's given permanently. Doesn't matter how it expresses. It's not like being having the feeling that I'm losing something, because this is all kind of so much what I already created, or what has already been created, that it will never find a forum that will be final or something like that. It's just like a permanent bubbling out, also like poems or whatever. It's like permanently there. And to just appreciate that as the gift that appears in awareness, as everything else appears in awareness, just resting instead of making it something personal. Difficult to put into words, but I was just astonished.
I get it, yeah.
I was just astonished how it felt like, wow, how I'm kind of always like, there's always this thing, oh man, I would draw so much, and the piano, and here's this, you should see my flat, it's like full of paintings, drawings, music, everything, and it's like all calling me all the time, whilst it's actually something inside of me that's just like anyway flowing. And so there's this, it's like a release right now, and at the same time it's also this, something's been so sitting in me in this, so it's like this peace, and resting, everything is just like in that. It doesn't need the creative output, and it does happen. If it happens, something like that, maybe it's that. Maybe you can say something about that. I'm just astonished that I was so restful, and right now I'm kind of not in peace, because it feels like, wow. It felt like this whole volcano. Something small I also wanted to say is, like, when you were speaking to Zoe, there was this recognition that there was a slight tendency to do this to feel comfortable, to be creative so that it feels good and comfortable. And that kind of, since there's this investigation and everything, that totally changed, because I felt that this being creative was sometimes even too much already, something like that, because it was just this kind of allowing all that to be this, only this amazing, whatever, you can't put it into words, is like, it was just like kind of no movement at all, just it's all so rich that even putting something into creativity was kind of, why? It's already there. To whom may this want to even grow? For what? Or, there was this kind of full satisfaction, no need. And it's, I know that, and then something sometimes comes in, and there's like even more beauty in hearing the music, or just the piano is like something that can kind of flash me away, you know. and so it's like, it's a beautiful dance in a way that's happening. If not, sometimes something feels like the volcano wants to come out and it's not able to express because there's no time for it or something like that. Okay, I don't want to speak too much, but it's a strong experience in this moment. Some things like has been sitting and it's also coming out now into peace somehow. Something like that. And why is it so triggering somehow? I don't really get it.
Let's say, could be some old identification with being a creator or it's getting seen.
Something also like, it would be a pity if this isn't shared with the world or something like that. That's probably something that's been making it a bit, there was this slight taste of regret, like missing out, because there's so much beauty and it could be put out and it doesn't, it's kind of sitting more right in my field somehow. My field.
Yeah.
So then something like that might be released, yeah.
So this idea that there's a world is an interesting one to look at.
Yeah, exactly. That makes it so much like, oh, it doesn't belong, or there's no world, or it doesn't have this, the frame is going away somehow.
I understand.
It becomes more immediate, the immediate taste and flavor of every moment somehow. It's beautiful. It's almost like stepping a little bit over this beautiful zone into something that's even much more vast. It's like having kept the joy inside because it's not the moment to actually totally feel it. It's also in it, this taste of first something has to be put into this beautiful space before it can be just like, whoa, joy every moment or something like that. You understand that?
Yeah.
Oy. Yeah, there's a lot of suppression behind it. I could call it suppression somehow. That's being released. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share this, because it feels like there is a world, there's you. And I can actually share it with someone, all of you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hi, Isaac.
Hey, Fanny.
I'd like to share first that in this magazine, there is this big interview with Vulko. It's an whole magazine with the title Pretend. And Vulko's interview is in there. Quite amazing. Yeah. Yeah. My stepmother has died. I was with her all the time, organized a funeral. The last bits of taking out the stuff out of her house. it's a sort of melancholy feeling of sadness, also happiness, relief, and freedom. And exhaustion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it okay to come again, Isaac?
With total pleasure.
I couldn't speak before because there was so much going on in my body, in this body. But to end of your talk with Zoe, I don't even know if it's okay to share this, but there's just a really a strong need to say it. I really I felt your presence speaking through Isaac's body so deeply. I saw there was nobody here.
Mm.
And that place you were in when you were speaking was so profound here.
Mm. Yeah.
I had a lot of things going on in my body for a long time, and lately my right sacrum and hip are so sore I can't walk.
Mm.
And I've been struggling with all sorts of tryings and fixings, and I just got to a point where I just decided I'm going to just sit in bed all day.
Mm.
And it actually wasn't a decision. It was just
Like
I
a
saw
surrender.
it was a surrender.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been in this beautiful place, and then you spoke that way, and it was just and when you were talking about Papaji and reading Ramana, and again, it was like I've been wanting to die. The identified I has been wanting to die, but no, it can't do that. It doesn't choose that because it knows something else. And I want to die before I die. And I feel very privileged to have this taste.
Mm. Yeah. What a luck. What a big luck. Yeah.
Ah, it gave me a sense of rest, the word rest. So overrated, I mean underrated in terms of a word. So yeah, I'm just wanting to express.
Oh, beauty. Just let it express. It's just beautiful. Yeah.
This. I'm so grateful for the pain and what the body's yeah. What it's brought right to this moment. We're just phantoms, phantoms of the imagination. all the energy I was holding down when I sat with you. Not I, something, the habit, the habit, the sweet trying idea of itself.
Mhm.
Ah. 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 So grateful to have found this connection with you this life.
You know, it's really connection with your own beingness. Yeah,
With that unnameable wonder.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Christina.
Hi.
Hey. Anything that wants to be spoken? No need to make anything up. Just if there is, you're welcome.
It's just this the thoughts the past week or two have been of guilt and like fear of rejection. And it's just very strong right now.
And there's awareness of that.
Yeah. Feels like there's a resistance to going deeper as well.
There's awareness of that.
Mm. Yeah.
What is it that would go deeper?
I guess this sense of peace, like in day to day.
But that's not, that doesn't answer the question. What is it that would go deeper?
My awareness.
That awareness belongs to you.
Mm. No.
So this question, who are you? Not to answer with thinking, with the mind.
Sometimes it feels like I'm that expansive space, and then sometimes it feels like I'm localized.
Mm. Who are you?
Yes.
In a way beyond expanded and localized, beyond both. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
Hi, Isaac.
I said, yeah.
There's a sense of as for now, I'm feeling this is really such a um, unpriceless privilege to be here with you. Really, there's so much happening in the system with all sorts of the thoughts at different levels or whatever you want to call it. But just this taste of this, just whatever this is, it's just I can't really say it, but just want to say thank you to you, Isaac, for your presence.
Thank you, boss, for hosting. Thanks, beloveds, for being here.